Linjiangxian Field. Episode 3. Li Qingyue accidentally entered the Ghost King's wedding. Li Qingyue arrived at the Changlei Palace, and the steward Chang Du and the maid Ning Yan greet Li Qingyue. When Li Qingyue sees the scenery in the courtyard, she is surprised. She thought that the courtyard where Bai Jiusi lived is very simple, but when she hears that it is for her, she feels a little embrace. Li Qingyue thought that she would live with Bai Jiusi, and there was no scenery and wedding ceremony as she imagined. After Chang Du settled Li Qingyue, she came to report to Bai Jiusi, and Bai Jiusi recalled the past between him and Li Qingyue. Li Qingyue had been waiting bitterly, but Bai Jiusi still didn't come at night. It was Ning Yan who thought Li Qingyue would be very sad and wanted to comfort her. However, Li Qingyue wanted to have dinner. Since Li Qingyue was in the fairyland, most fairies didn't eat much, so Ning Yan could only bring some fruits to fill her stomach. After Li Qingyue ate a few bites of the fruit, she instantly felt full of energy and thought the fruit was magical. It turned out that the fruit Li Qingyue ate were all Ning Yan's, and Ning Yan was a fairy who cultivated from a sacred tree. After eating and drinking, Li Qingyue wanted to find Bai Jiusi to spend the wedding night with him, but because the place was too big and there were no way up down the mountain, she had to fly to find Bai Jiusi. Li Qingyue couldn't fly, and she couldn't leave the base in the future, so she could only go down the mountain little by little through the find of Ning Yan. Although Li Qingyue went up the mountain because the 9 heavens was too big, it would take 10 days to find Bai Jiusi. Li Qingyue decided not to sleep for 10 days and 10 nights, so as not to be alone in an empty room on her wedding night. At night, Li Qingyue entered the forest. In the stone forest, the 3 brothers dare not open their eyes because they had made a bid with a mortal woman. After chatting with her, they learned that Li Qingyue could not fly and wanted to teach Li Qingyue a lesson. Li Qingyue followed Ning Yan's advice and reported that she was Bai Jiusi's wife. As a result, the 3 brothers still did not stop and injured Li Qingyue. When Li Qingyue woke up again, she found herself in the room, lying on the bed. Li Qingyue quickly took out medicines to heal herself, and then she carefully observed the surroundings. The room was very large, simple, and elegant. Li Qingyue tried to communicate with others, but there was no one in the room, so she carefully carried her package and left. In the main hall, Bai Jiusi was discussing matters with gods. When they came to talking about Li Qingyue happened to come to the main hall. No one knew Li Qingyue, and it was unreasonable for Li Qingyue to break into the main hall without permission. Li Qingyue hurried, left, and Bai Jiusi introduced Li Qingyue's identity to everyone. Li Qingyue and Bai Jiusi returned to the room together and took out the fruits that Bai Jiusi had picked. When Bai Jiusi saw the fruit, he recalled the time when he was with Li Qingyue. Bai Jiusi thought that Li Qingyue was deliberately bringing up the past to provoke him, but Li Qingyue looked confused. After Li Qingyue left, Zhang Xuan continued to practice hard, but the elixir Li Qingyue gave Zhang Xuan could only strengthen the body but could not repair Ling Hai. Zhang Xuan still could not immediately recover her previous strength. In her spare time, Zhang Xuan was still thinking about Li Qingyue. On the wedding night, Li Qingyue wanted to ask Bai Jiusi when he fell in love with her, but Bai Jiusi refused to tell her. Li Qingyue told him about her miserable life in this life, how no one had noticed her, and only when Bai Jiusi appeared did she experience the joy of being protected by others. Bai Jiusi was touched by what Li Qingyue said. On the second date, when Li Qingyue woke up again, she did not see Bai Jiusi. Only Chang Tu bring Li Qingyue some fruit on the road and asked Li Qingyue to leave on the ground of fruits. Li Qingyue had no choice but to leave. Chang Du found Li Qingyue, who was fishing, and told Bai Jiusi that Fan Jiaojiao was going to get married tonight. But Fan Jiaojiao married every year, and because Fan Jiaojiao married every year, Bai Jiusi did not care too much. At night, Li Qingyue left and accidentally entered a forest. She lost her way and bumped into a woman in red. The woman in red hurried told the woman that there was a man-eating monster and ran away. Li Qingyue bumped into a wedding team who mistakenly thought the bride was Li Qingyue. Li Qingyue wanted to explain but was still out. She fainted when entering the sedan chair. Li Qingyue was taken to the wedding scene in a daze. At the critical moment of the wedding ceremony, Bai Jiusi arrived.